Hello, fellow baggers, and welcome back to Bluebaggers Edge. And whilst we haven't had really any further movement in terms of the, trade movements per se, we had some interesting news surrounding Charlie Curnow on a couple of fronts. First up, we had Baslenka Bailey Smith stirring the pot, it would seem, snapping a photo of him and Charlie on Instagram, having a bit of a kick of the footy. But really, is there much in this, given both of these lads collaborate together with the Dacos brothers with their Barry Spirit drink brand? So these two catching up really isn't much of a surprise, but is this just another sneaky way to add fuel to this already smouldering fire? Maybe. And then we had Rolly Beveridge come out and say this quite, intriguingly.
Having been 50-50 on it on Monday when the trade period opened as to whether or not a deal for Charlie Curnow will go through, I'm pretty confident that happens now. It's just all about getting a deal done. And as you've said repeatedly, no offers have actually been made for Charlie Curnow as yet. We are 6 days away from the trade period ending, so that has to progress at some stage as well.
They've always had the door open though, haven't they? Like we've seen some shut doors through this trade period. This one's always been open for the right price, for the right players, and if the right players are involved. So I feel like that's always been a footy club that's been open to a deal if the price is right. And it's up to Sydney and Geelong, which is running out of time in some ways to be able to put something together with a group that doesn't look like anyone wants to leave at this point either.
Did Charlie Curnow train with a Geelong player this morning?
He did. Well, according to Instagram, he did. Bailey Smith just posted a nice little photo with Charlie Curnow looking like a nice coastal day with a few footies out and about. So, yeah, if that was just another hint, those two know what they're doing.
But what I don't understand is the reports that no club, including the Swans, have apparently tabled an official offer for Charlie. Well, that's what we thought until we heard this report from Kel Toomey that the Cats made their first official move late in the day on Thursday. And he reported it as a major move, but it was anything but. On the surface, it's 3 first-round draft picks. Yes, they sound good, but when you look closer, they are just fool's gold. Firstly, it includes the Cats' 2025 first rounder, which is pick 19, then their 2026 first rounder, which would likely fall anywhere between picks 15 and 18, given, of course, an acquisition of Charlie Curnow would likely see them push for a top 4 spot at minimum and a tilt at the flag once again. So that could be pick 18. And then a 2027 first rounder, which is much the same, but in a draft that is going to be the most compromised beyond repair since the days of GWS and the Suns, given Tasmania will gobble up most of the picks in the first round of that draft. So, in essence, what they're offering are first rounders bordering on or disguised as second rounders. They are that lower pick. So, I think in channeling our inner Daryl Kerrigan from the Castle, it's a case of...
Nah. Now, hang on, Steve. What's he asking?
150.
Tell him he's dreaming.
They are truly dreaming. They are well and truly dreaming. Because at this stage, if that's the best that they can offer, we can promptly leave their messages on red and ghost their attempts at any phone call. Just really pathetic to think that they can pay such unders for a 2-time Coleman medalist is an insult. Thinking especially they don't have to give up the likes of one of their prize players of the ilk of a Holmes, a bit of a lesser like in Shannon Neal, perhaps Ollie Dempsey, rising star, quality player, or someone similar. Yes, I know Charlie's acted a bit like a petulant child behind the scenes, mind you, which is probably a little bit more frustrating, I think, because he's put on this front that he wants to stay at Carlton when really behind the scenes it's being pushed anything but. But really, I think in context of what the Cats have tabled here, I sincerely hope that Nick Austin laughs in their face and hangs up the phone. The only hope I think that the Cats have in trying to acquire Charlie is attempting to trade up the draft order with another side whose early pick may be gobbled up due to a bid on their academy player or a father-son pick. And hey, funnily enough, we're one of those sides coincidentally. Otherwise, I think, their best option is approaching perhaps the Suns for either pick 7 or pick 8, which I think one of those 2 picks will be used in the Petrarca trade. But target one of those 2 picks in exchange for Geelong's 2025 and 2026 first rounders. So it's on them to get the deal done. If they really want Charlie, that's their avenue. Approach the Suns, try and pry one of those picks out of their hands, and maybe we may come to the party. But even then, even if it was pick 7 and a 2027 first round pick in a compromised draft, even then I don't think that's enough. We I think would probably prefer to go and deal with the Swans if we were to go down that avenue, which I think with what the Swans are even offering isn't enough, personally. So I think assessing the situation and where it stands at the moment, I know we're, 3-4 days in, but honestly at this rate, I am more leaning towards Charlie, I think, staying at the club, much like, we remember back in the day, the under contract Bryce Gibbs. He stayed at the club for a season when Adelaide refused to stump up the required collateral, only to come to their senses a season later and stump up what's required in order to acquire Bryce Gibbs. I know that the way that this has played out with Charlie, he's kind of burnt bridges in some supporters' eyes, many supporters' eyes. I don't know. I can't really speak on behalf of the supporter base, but there's a percentage of you out there that probably feel that way, and probably rightfully so. But could he stay? If Voss is truly the main issue that he has, reportedly, we don't know, but playing devil's advocate, if Voss's contract isn't extended beyond 2026, does Charlie perhaps do a bit of a, papley and stay on board? Or, alternatively, is his career in the Navy Blue now untenable? For me, I'm in a bit of both camps there, but at the end of the day, unless we get proper value in return for Charlie at the trade table, I don't want us to cut off our nose to spite our faces by selling him for unders. That simply cannot happen. It simply cannot happen because he's acted this way petulantly and has played out in the media, everything else. I don't care if you want to go to another club. I don't care if you want to go to a specific club in Geelong or Sydney. You will not be going there unless we get fair return on your value. You're a 2-time Coleman medalist. And on your day, you are one of the more exciting key forwards. Sure, you had a down season in 2025, but we all know what you're capable of. And we all know what the Cats are capable of. I mean, they took Jack Martin into their fold and were able to give him games and get his body right in the back end of 2025. So just imagine what they could do with Charlie Curnow. It is really frightening to think. But let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Would you accept Charlie back into the fold if he was to stay at the club? Or are we now past that point and he needs to go, even if we don't get paid his true market value at the trade table? Let us know. Always keen to hear your thoughts. But until next time, we'll catch you in the next one. Go Baggers.
Have you ever heard the